So a quick video on how I overcame chronic fatigue. Yes, at one point in my life, I couldn't even run down the street. I couldn't even ride my bike to work. There was one point in my life where I was just so fatigued. Shortly after doing the paleo diet, it was back in 2000, it was probably when it hit me the most, where I had the drive, I had the bicycle, but I didn't have the energy to go and do stuff. I was fucked. But I had so much hunger back then. I had more hunger back then than I do now. For me, you're doing a 500k bike ride, easy. Keeping up with pro riders up the mountains when they're here in January, easy. Riding across the country, easy. You know, I've got my fitness goals I've done. They're so easy for me now. But back then, when I wanted it, I really wanted it, but I couldn't do it. Does that make sense? It's a bit like seeing something in the shop window, like a nice bicycle, and go, I really want that, I really want that. I don't have the money for it though. You know, you got that hunger, you just, I want that. I had that back in the day. I wanted to be just super fit. I wanted to be back then what I am now. And now I'm like, yes, I sort of take it for granted how fit I am now compared to what I was. So my tip with chronic fatigue would be definitely, you need to look at your carbohydrate intake. You need to start counting grams of carbohydrate. I would recommend minimum 10 grams of carbs per kilo of body weight per day. So if someone like me, 65, 60, 70 kilos, that's around 600 to 700 grams of carbs per day. Minimum. I've met so many people, I've got chronic fatigue, and I go, how many grams of carbs do you eat? Oh, I eat enough. How many grams do you eat? Well, I eat enough. How many grams do you eat? Well, I struggle managing. How many grams of fucking carbohydrates do you put in your fuel tank? Oh, you're offensive. I can't have this conversation. You need to put the carbs in. If you want to fucking drive your car across Australia or the US, you got to put the fuel in the tank. You don't go to the gas station, put some gas in, and go, that feels like it's enough. You look at how many fucking litres you're going to use and how many litres you're going to need. You don't fuck around, so it's same with carbohydrate intake. You need to be objective so you have enough fuel to get your job done. So the biggest one is probably people don't eat enough carbohydrate, then they get hungry, load up on the fat, and then your blood's all fatted out and you can't get enough oxygen to your cells and you feel like shit. That's why cyclists, runners, swimmers and sprinters use the drug called EPO, which is erythropoietin, which is a hormone produced in the kidneys that stimulate your bone marrow to produce more red blood cells so you can get more oxygen to your muscles. So boom, you got more energy, more stamina, more vitality. So you need to have enough carbohydrates and eat a low-fat diet so your blood works properly. Your power comes from your blood. Just ask any pro athlete that's done a blood transfusion where you take the blood out and reinfuse it 2 weeks later. The first few days after you take the blood out, you're like, you're done. Your power comes from your blood. When your blood sugar drops, your power drops. When your blood glycogen drops, your power drops. So it's all about your blood. Keeping oxygenated, carved up. And hydrated. Water is so important. You want to be pissing clear at least 10 times a day. 10 times a day. And a few times a night. Hydration, again, your blood. Your blood wants to be thin and moving clearly and cleanly. That's your energy there. Sleep. You want to go to bed at 8, 9 p.m. Even if you can't sleep, just put a little mask on, relax, chill. Caffeine. Get off all stimulants. No stimulants. Get off the stimulants. People say sugars are stimulants. Sugar's not a fucking stimulant. Sugar's found in human mother's breast milk. Is caffeine found in human mother's breast milk? No. Is theobromine found in human mother's breast milk? No. Is cocaine or codeine or paracetamol found in human mother's breast milk? No. The answer is no. Sugar is a fucking nutrient. Caffeine, cocaine, whatever, that's a drug. Use me if you want, but I recommend if you want to heal yourself from chronic fatigue, get off the stimulants so you can get in touch with how your body wants to work and your adrenal glands can do their job better. When you put stimulants in like caffeine, that they work because they teach your body to release adrenaline. Caffeine's a neurotoxin. So you put it in your body's like, and wants to get rid of it. So you spike your adrenaline, and over time, if you use caffeine once a month, whatever, that's not as big an issue. But if you're using it on a daily basis or whatever, eventually your adrenal glands are starting to go, they're starting to short circuit, not really work properly. So you want to have everything good health. So I'd recommend get off the stimulants, all right? Carb up, hydrate up, sleep up. You're going to start feeling better. So now you're doing all these things. You're getting your 10 grams of carbs per kilo body weight per day. You're going to bed 8, 9 p.m. You're drinking your water, you got clear urination. If you're still not feeling better, well, you're going to feel better. But if you, let's say you're still not, the old analogy, put on different hats. A lot of people see themselves, oh, I've got chronic fatigue, that's who I am, that's my identity, don't take it away from me. I'm a victim, I'm a poor boy, I'm a poor girl, I'm a victim, give me attention, give me love. I'll tell you what, when you're a victim, you don't get love, you get obligation. People are like, fuck, may as well help, blah, blah, blah. But that's out of obligation. That's out of obligation. So you don't want to be a victim. Alright? You want to be a champion, so people want to hang around you versus who are obligated to hang around you because like, oh, fuck, shit. That's what you want. So I'd recommend just change your hats that you wear. Wear the hat of a champion versus the hat of a victim or a chronic fatigue person, whatever. What you focus on is what you get. Who you tell yourself you are is what you become. So I started telling myself, I'm an athlete, I'm a fit person, versus saying, I've got chronic fatigue, I'm a sick kid. My mum always said, Harley, you're a sick kid. The doctor said, Harley, you're a sick kid. You'll never be fit. The doctors, when I was 8 years old, said, you will never be fit. You'll never, ever be able to run with the kids at school. And that's okay, Harley. There's plenty of other things in life to do, but you'll never be fit. Your asthma's too bad. And so I entertained that thought for fucking God knows how long, 15, 20 years or whatever. That became my identity on sports day. I'm like, well, I'm the sick kid with asthma who can't do shit. And I'd finish dead last or second last, or I'd be on the high school cross country team because no one else wanted to be there. And then and then I would go to the inter-school meetups and I'd be like, yeah, I'm the best in my school. Only because no one fucking wanted to do cross country in my school because everyone's smoking drugs or whatever, or couldn't be fucked. So I'd go to the inter-school club meets. I'll be dead last, right? All the other kids would just blast me. I'll be running 5 minutes behind everyone else. So it's hilarious. But you got to change your identity. You have to change your identity. You got to carb up, sleep up, hydrate up, and change your identity. The hat you wear is the hat you become.